The purpose of this video is to quickly show you how to do a super basic Google form. I understand that some of you would like to capture some information, have students sign off on classroom compacts or lab rules or something like that here at the very beginning of the school year. So we'll get into Google Forms more in depth as we move forward, but this is just a real quick and simple down and dirty version. First, you'll need to know how to log into Google Drive. So if you don't know how to do that, please go back to a previous video on logging into Google Drive. Check your email for that link. So once you're in Google Drive, you're going to go over here to New and click on New, and you'll go to Google Forms. So once I'm in Google Forms, I need to know what I want to call my form. Up here in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see it says Untitled Form. The first thing I like to do is rename my form. So you'll double click on that. And here in the center of your screen, you see you have the opportunity to rename your form. So perhaps this is it's my Algebra 1 period 1. Okay. So I can see up here in the upper left-hand corner that went through. The next thing I want to look at is the form settings. So automatically Google has us requiring WCPS login to view the form. That's fine, but if I'm the teacher wanting students to complete this, I want to know, and I want them to log in their WCPS username. So I'm going to click the second one. If I don't do this, then we can have things like Kara Burhan's selecting that she's Adam Robinson and signing off that she's him. So this helps with the accountability piece for me as the teacher in asking students to sign off on something. I also would recommend clicking on only allow one response per person, just so we don't get bogged down in students doing multiples. So once you've done that, here you have your page 1 of 1, Algebra 1, period 1. If I want to do a description, I can. Maybe I say classroom compact. Okay. Now, it automatically generates the question and question title, but if I'm doing a classroom compact, I would probably want to have that compact within the Google form so that students see what they're signing off on. So to do that, I'm going to go right here to Add Item, and I'm selecting Section Header. Once I select that, I'll say Our Compact States, and then in the description box is where I'll type whatever the compact states and click Done. Now, here's the problem. I want what the compact states above the question. To move it, all I have to do, see how this blue bar is here on the left? I just move my cursor and click, and then I'm going to drag it up below Algebra 1 PD and drop it, and now that header is above the question. So now I need to edit the question. So I move my cursor up here and I click. Now I can edit the question. So the question title, in typing my name below, I indicate that I agree to and understand the terms of our classroom compact. And then I don't want multiple choice. I just want a text box. I do want this to be a required question, so I'll click that, and then I'll click done. Now, what will this look like when the students see it? Well, I can go up here and click View Live Form to see what it will look like. It looks pretty generic. Let's say I want some kind of fancy background. I clicked up here, Edit this form. That will take me back to this page where I can go up here on the left-hand side and click Change Theme. And then if you look over here on the right-hand side, I can click and drag and see all the different themes that I can select from. So I'm just gonna pick any old theme. Let's see, it's math. All right, I'm just gonna pick the sailboats. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Now, how do I share this form with my students? Well, maybe you want to create a QR code because more than likely most of your students are going to have a QR reader. If they don't, that's okay. You can email them the link, or you can go to up here in the right hand corner where it says send form, and you can enter all of their names. That's going to take you a long time, or you can click on the link to share. If I click short URL, it's going to give me this, which will be much easier for me to put up on my board to share with my students. But let's say I decide I want to create a QR form. So first, I'm going to go up in my address bar and click. You'll see that it highlights it blue. And then I'm just going to do Control C or Command C, depending on if I'm using an Apple or a PC. And you'll get any number of websites to create a QR code. So here you'll see that it asks me for my data type. I have all of these different options. I'm just going to website URL because the Google Doc is a website. And then I'll click Control C or Control V as in Veronica, or Command V if I'm using a Mac, and then return or enter. And then it will process it eventually. I don't want to do that, so I'm clicking cancel. Maybe. And here's my QR code preview here on the right hand side. I always like to check my QR code, so I would go to my QR reader on my phone and scan this just to make sure it's taking me to the form. It always does. I just like to do that. So download QR code is what I'm going to click next. No, thank you. No, thank you. So now that's been downloaded to my desktop. So now I have the ability to share that QR code with my students. I can also do a screenshot. I'm happy to teach you how to do any of this. I'm trying to keep this video to less than 10 minutes, but I don't know that I'm doing so great. I'm at 9 minutes and 10 seconds. So once I've put this out there for my students, what I can do is, if I go back to my Google Drive, I can see I have Algebra 1, Period 1. This is my form, and this is my responses. So if I double click on responses in my Drive, it's going to show me what time and date, and then which students have already signed that they agree to our norms. That allows me to, of course, this is sort of like an Excel spreadsheet, and I can save it, I can export it, so that I can sort. Here you can see your little sort button. so that I can see which students have submitted, which students are still outstanding, that I can follow up with. Please let me know if you have any questions. This went over 10 minutes, so I'm sorry for that. Have a great day.